always try to stick to full range of motion.
It takes a process that needs some key strength building tips.
If you want to build overall strength, squatting is one of the best ways, and it is proven scientifically. But there are times where you need to value yourself.
Hi everyone, welcome to something new that we always want to do at Fitness Island. Talk to athletes, interview athletes, get what goes on in their life so that you or everyone who's following us on Instagram, on Facebook and YouTube can learn something from these athletes. And for our first segment, it's such an honor for me to have one of my very good friends who is on and off the camera, who I've known so well, who I've seen to my eyes the dedication, the grind, the passion he shows towards his sports. So I thought it's ideal that we start our first segment with Kodi. He's also formerly known as Powerlifting Kodi for his accolades across powerlifting. And I would like to welcome Kodi for our first segment. And throughout this segment, we are going to talk about things like how he got here, the dedication, the commitment, and also practical things like how the tips he would give you all on how you can increase your strength to how you can become an overall better athlete. So I would like to just welcome Kodi, who's been joining us today for our first segment. Welcome, Kodi.
Thank you so much.
Right, it's a super honor to have you, Kodi.
Yeah.
A lot of things I would say I have a lot of questions to ask you, but I'm trying to keep this as brief and as short as possible.
Yeah.
Our goal at the end of this video is that whoever watches will learn 2 or 3 new things.
Yeah.
To get this conversation started, first I would like to ask, if we rewind 8 years back, you were just an average guy.
Yeah.
No one probably wouldn't have even known. Not the guy who had every resources in the world, not the guy who had everything he wanted, but started from the very bottom, an unknown figure 8 years back. Run us through your story, what happened and how are you here today?
So basically, my past of going back 8 years, I started as a cricketer. I was around 105 kilos. My journey was a very unexpected one. I didn't really see me as powerlifting Kodi. I didn't know how it came through, but I was a cricketer and I was 105 kilos back then. I was playing cricket for under 17 Sri Lanka provincial and district levels, and then somehow I got through to rugby back in 2011. That was my first year of playing rugby, my first and my last. So rugby kind of got me into the aspect of strength and conditioning. When I was done with my rugby season, I dropped from 105 to 73 kilos.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big drastic drop. But then again, I was still, my mindset was strong, and I knew that I was physically strong too. And it was my rugby journey, even though it was short, it was epic and lit. I was squatting around at around 77 kilos. I was squatting around 170 kilos. So at the age of 18. So I consider that as somewhat strong. So yeah, and my strength and conditioning coach when I was playing rugby was Ranjit Zadilaga.
Awesome. So if you just heard what he was talking about, I think it's very important to hear that he mentioned how he had a leg injury. And for as an athlete, that's probably something demotivating. And if you can just run us through when it happened, for you to make that comeback from having an injury that's so bad that you could have easily, given up on sports, gone to the typical 8 to 5 job, work on a career. From that, instead you take a transition to something like this and decide to pursue the hard way. If you can run through what the mindset needs now. A lot of people, I think we've also got some questions about people who always encounter injuries, and that kind of puts you down, it demotivates you. So what does it take to come back? What do you do when something like that happens?
The life-changing aspect when I broke my leg was the doctor stated that until I go to the grave, my leg will be weak. He stated that, I wouldn't go against what the doctor's opinion or what the doctor is going to say. Not that I'm going to counter argue what he says. I respect his decision. I respect what he says. But then again, I didn't want to be living on someone else's opinion. I didn't want to be living on someone else's recommendation stating the fact that my leg was going to be weak until I go to the grave. I just wanted to prove myself that I'm going to be strong. I may not be powerlifting, Kodi, but even as a personal point of view, I wanted to be strong because genetically, since I was a kid, my legs were kind of massive. It comes from my dad, so I wanted to keep that strength going on. I wanted to be strong, and I just wanted to prove myself the fact that breaking my leg into three or injecting 7 nails and 2 plates inside my ankle is not going to stop me from being who I really want to be. And it's just that I was just counter arguing myself. Either you be just squatting 100 or 120 kilos, or just be extremely strong, squatting 240 or 250 kilos in the 93 weight class. So as I said earlier, it wasn't a powerlifting aspect inside my head. It's just that I wanted to be physically and mentally strong, and that physically and mentally strong converted Dhanushka Kodikara into powerlifting Kodi. And I had to climb 3 floors to go into a gym. I was 18 years old when I broke my leg, and I didn't fuss, but there were times where I had to travel in the bus to go to the gym with a broken leg. Some days there was the fact that my mom used to drop me to the gym, but then again the hustle or the grind didn't stop. If I could train upper body, I would go to the gym. What I've seen may not be the majority of athletes, but there is a certain minority which states, okay, I have an injury, I only can be half-hearted. No, yes, injuries do come as setbacks, but the more the setback is, there is a strong comeback inside you. So it's about how your mindset is focused on the strong comeback than what gives you a setback. So I think to most of the athletes right now, what I can tell you is, I know there are different certain level of injuries which I'm not aware of. But if you really want to be strong, or if you have a goal of following a certain sport of yours, it's about how much heart you have. It's about, if you focus on injury, okay, that injury will always keep on prioritizing inside your body. But if it's just about winning, and if it's about enjoying the process, then you will start growing. So my growth was about how much I really wanted to win.
Awesome. Talking a bit of your background now, I think this is an area where you can give some advice to people. You look 8 years back, when you're that average guy, and 8 years later to be one of the Commonwealth Gold Medlist and one of the strongest athletes, that takes a process that needs some key strength building tips. So I think this is the perfect time for you to shed some light, for you to tell people, okay, how do you build strength? For a guy who's average guy going to the gym today, probably not strong enough to do the basic 3 primary movements even, and he's watching, and this is your opportunity today. I want you to talk a little bit of in detail from becoming that average guy to someone who can lift one of the heaviest weights across all your 3 movements. How do you do that from a practical point? If I'm going today, what do I need to start doing today so that in 8 years I will be stronger and much more stronger than I am today?
Okay, if I would state certain points, what I have seen, it's not something bad. It's a learning process in every athlete, where I had mistakes too back in the day. What I would tell is, if you want to be strong, you have to understand a certain exercise has a thing called full range of motion. Mm-hmm. That full range of motion has to happen. Like, okay, example, in squats, just do full range of motion. Don't be half squatting. There are certain isolation things where bodybuilders or certain other athletes focus when it comes to 90-degree squats. But always try to stick to full range of motion. You have a bigger muscle when you keep on doing full range of motion exercises. Like, some say, squat are bad for the knees. I don't believe in that, because I've been squatting for the last 9 years. I squat thrice a week, and I do take my fish oil, I do take my joint support, and I'm fine. as long as you stick to a proper technique, and as long as you stick to a good full range of motion, there will be prominent growth, there will be prominent results. And a lot of people fuss when it comes to squatting. Squats are one of the greatest exercises to build an overall performance.
That's right.
So there is, I'm not offending anyone, but then again, if you want to build overall strength, squatting is one of the best ways, and it is proven scientifically. So full range of motion, and try to squat. It's not bad for your knees. It will always show good results.
Just to pause you on that, Kodi. So does that mean squat is the only, or now overall strength building wise, are we to more focused towards the more important exercise like a squat, or are there other exercises also which we need to balance it out?
Squat and deadlifts, in my opinion, my knowledge, how I have grown as an athlete, not just particularly as a powerlifter. And there are certain athletes who I train as well, but like I always influence them or make programs which has deadlift and squats, because that will always build your whole body. A lot of people I've seen do massive deadlifts,
right,
but are you doing it right? So there are Romanian deadlifts, there is conventional deadlifts, there is sumo deadlifts, but are you doing it right? What is the purpose behind it?
Sorry to pause you on this, but this again brings me to the next question. Weight versus technique. Now, what we see with a lot of powerlifters is chasing weight, lifting heavy weights.
Yeah.
In the process, you will have to sacrifice technique. Now you're just referring to technique as something important. Where do you find the balance? When do you say, okay, enough weight, I'm going to focus on technique? Or where do you say, enough technique, now I need to start loading the bar? Where do you find the balance in this question of weight versus technique?
If I speak about powerlifting, it's about how many times let's take powerlifting and squatting and powerlifting. It's about how many times you squat per week.
Right.
If you squat, the frequency. If you squat twice a week, you will understand what needs to be done. Is it the breathing? Is it the knees tracking your toes? Is it how you're bracing? Is it how you're gripping the bar? Or is it how the fact that you tilt your pelvic? There are certain things on how changes can be done according to the frequency of squatting per week. The more the frequency, the understanding you will have on how to squat properly.
Right.
When you create more of a frequency in squatting, every rep in squatting or deadlift or bench is a time where you can adjust to make your technique right. Every rep counts. So if I would say increasing weight, I would say first focus on your technique. If it's a new athlete, focus on your technique, and then we can go on a progressive overloading method where we build up eventually. But when it comes to, I did a mistake where when I was young, I used to think about how aggressive I want to be in powerlifting, how motivation matters. Yes, motivation matters to every athlete. But when I'm on a long-term journey where I want to be a champion of champions in the long run, I rather focus on my technique and then build.
Right.
So that's what I am in now, where I'm building technique and then I'm going to gain overall strength.
Awesome. From you being someone who know off camera as well, I think we've spoken about this at the gym. How you sleep by 9 o'clock, and that really amazes me. And you're at the gym at 5 o'clock every single day. You have your rest days. I think that just goes on to show as an athlete how important recovery is. Now, today's context, when you say someone sleep at 9, that just doesn't sound right, because we are so used to going to bed around 10. We're on the phone till about 11, 11:30, then again up for a guy who was in the corporate might be up by 5 or 6. How do you make sure you sleep by 9? Give us some practical tips, and how do you make sure you're up at 5 in the morning and you're at the gym?
The reason why I changed, I used to train in the night, but the reason why I changed to training at 5 o'clock in the morning is the fact that I do have pre-workouts when I go on a heavy load. I do go on a 80% 90% heavy load every week because my training is such. So when I load up on my caffeine, it's a bit hard to get my sleep, and then that was the main reason why I changed into competing and lifting in the morning. The the thing is, I'm not saying social media is bad. Social media is really good in regard how you can improve your journey, how you can learn good content, quality content. But there are times where you need to value your journey. If you need to value your journey, if you need to grow, if you are understanding where you're gonna go, if you understand where your end goal is, you need to prioritize what you need to do to achieve that end goal. So if I need to squat 300 kilos, I need to have 8 hours of sleep, I need to have at least 4 liters of water a day, load up my protein and my creatine, and I need my 8 hours of sleep. I know if I lack on my sleep, and a champion, if you need to be a champion athlete, you need to have a champion work rate, work ethic overall in the day. It doesn't mean you have to have a champion work ethic only during training. No, even if you drink water, even if you eat the right food, everything externally out of the gym has to be a champion work ethic. So that was my purpose. I want to be a champion even outside the gym. There may be lacks in me. I do lack in certain things because even though I'm an athlete, I'm a human. But I always try to become. I always try to have that champion attitude inside me, even though I'm outside the gym. So there are certain things where I have built up in my competitiveness, drinking water and 8 hours of sleep. I just switch off my phone by 8:30 or 9 and just force myself to sleep. It's nothing bad. It's just that I want my goal. My goal is more valuable to me than just something reading about or anything as such.
Awesome. This is just going through Instagram page as well, Kodi. A lot of IGTV videos where you're talking a lot of motivation. It's not always about powerlifting. I think something you're chasing is to inspire people. If I was to go through all your videos, I might actually get the same point which you're trying to push constantly. So what is this message? I think that's a good note for us to end this video, because we want to keep this short and we hope you learn something. But to end this video, I want you to talk about the fact of discipline, motivation, and especially talking all about success. And we know success is not measured in terms of money as well. You are someone who constantly says, be hungry for success. And if you guys go on his Instagram account and you go through his IGTV content, he's constantly saying the same message. Could you just, to wrap up this, let's talk, why are you so passionate about telling people that core message you've been giving all the time? It's pretty similar in all these videos. Why is that so important to you?
See, a lot of people are waiting until money comes into their hand, until resources comes into their hand. Okay, I'm just waiting until my time comes. There is no time. You need to grind it out every day. You keep on delaying your time frame. Okay, so if you are hustling it out or grinding it out when you're 20, you will be achieving it in 35. You can't be grinding it out in 35 and expect success to come when you're 35 or 40. You need to grind it out when you have the age or when you have the time in your hand. Just grind it out. And people are not going to come and give you success and 100,000 or 1 million rupees. Okay, I feel sorry for your journey. I feel sorry for who you are. Right. No, if you need success or if you need whatever the goal you want to achieve, you need to grind it out. There are people who love you, that even in my journey or your journey or whatever the journey it is, everyone has people who love you or love around you. They will always support you by kind words, they'll all push you. But at the end of the day, powerlifting Kodi's journey is always be powerlifting Kodi's.
Right.
So it's always, everyone has their unique journey. It's about the work rate they provide according to their journey. The work rate will always determine the success rate. So barriers, everyone in this world has a problem. Whatever, stress, problems, fear, whatever it is, there'll always be something like that. You can't stop it. But among those problems and stress and stressful scenarios is where people have to push through. Tough times doesn't last long. Only tough people last long. So just like that, it's the work rate. Failures, it's okay. Everyone will fail. Champions have failed. Greatest of greatest have failed. That's okay. Failing, if you just keep it in your mind, say, okay, I'm a failure, I can't, I'm just a loser. No, that will always state you as a loser. It will always, people will come and tell you you're a loser, you're a failure. It's just that how you take it. I've failed in championships, but at that moment, yes, I feel bad. But my grind doesn't stop.
It's how you react to
Yes.
what puts you down.
Yes, it's about grinding it out. There will be so much of people who will come and say you're wrong. But if you value your journey, if you value your goal, at the end of the day, that's your story. You need to value your story because one day down the line, you need to tell how amazing your story is. So that's what matters to me, and that's something which I want to give out to you.
That's so powerful for whoever's listening. We would love to talk so much more. I think questions wise, I had in my mind so much more questions. But the moment we start talking, you see how Kodi is passionate about the things he talks about. His answers could be even long, but I didn't even want to interrupt him because what he says with his heart. So hopefully we can come up with a second episode with Kodi, maybe down the line. Our plan in terms is we'll be wanting to interview a few other athletes as well. Comment or inbox us who we need to talk to and what would you like to learn from them. I think strange enough from Kodi, it's not about powerlifting that you will learn. If you follow his journey, he's on Instagram as powerlifting Kodi, you will more than powerlifting, you will learn about life lessons, and that's what he's so passionate about. Unfortunately, that's about the time we have. Don't want this interview to go for too long, and we hope you got on to some important points. This was our very first video, and if we had shortcomings, let us know what we need to talk about in the next few videos, and we promise to bring you some awesome content. So thanks Kodi once again, and hopefully we'll do another episode soon.